welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Bahamas Immigration. And today we are discussing investments in the Bahamas, but more specifically, commercial enterprise, a specified commercial enterprise. We all know that there are two investment thresholds when trying to apply for status, be it permanent or semi-permanent in the Bahamas. These are permanent residence by investment or the commercial enterprise. Now, the difference between the two, one, the main factor is cost. For permanent residence by investment, your threshold, the minimum that you can come in with is $1 million for that investment. When you're looking at a specified commercial enterprise, the minimum investment must be $250,000. Now, some may say, well, that's a huge difference, $750,000 to be exact. However, there are some limitations to the commercial enterprise that is not placed on the investment by permanent residence by investment. And so that is what we're going to do a little talk about today, and to really let the international market as well as locally know that the specified commercial enterprise is available to you for investment purposes, and to highlight the pros and some of the drawbacks for this investment type. So sit with us for a minute and we'll spill the tea. All right, so I'm going to define what a specified commercial enterprise is. In the Bahamas, it was a part of, well, it is a part of the 2019 amendment to the Immigration Act. However, the Commercial Enterprise Bill was passed in 2017. And what this bill did was it introduced a new level of investment to the process for persons who want to come to the Bahamas, operate a specified business type, and qualify for some exemptions under the Commercial Enterprise Bill in terms of work permit. So the investment threshold, as we mentioned earlier, is $250,000. And the specified commercial enterprise can be a regular business registered within the Bahamas, and it must fall under one of these categories. The business type must fall under captive insurance, reinsurance, mutual fund administration, arbitration, wealth management, international trade, international arbitrage, computer programming, software design and writing, bioinformatics and analytics, maritime trade, nanotechnology, boutique health facilities, data storage or warehousing, aviation approved maintenance operations, aviation registration, and call centers. Do you hear your idea anywhere? Now, the commercial enterprise is not only available, a license from the under the Commercial Enterprise Bill is not only available to foreign investors, but also to Bahamians. This certificate is granted under or granted by the Bahamas Investment Authority Board. These persons or this body will qualify you as a commercial enterprise. There is an application process, there are zoning ordinances, and once approved, a certificate is granted. Once that certificate is granted, then we can have that conversation as to the exemptions when it comes to the immigration process and hiring skilled personnel in that area. Now, here is one difference between a regular work permit and having a work permit issued under the commercial enterprise. The work permit is not called a work permit, it's termed a BH-1B visa. You would apply for a BH-1B visa under the Commercial Enterprise Bill, and if you don't receive a response from the department within 14 days, that application is deemed approved. Now, that don't happen with a regular work permit, so that is one of the pros. Another pro is once you would have been approved for that commercial enterprise certificate, your work permit is not issued at the same cost of a regular work permit. So that BH-1B visa for a project manager may be $3,000 per year, whereas a regular work permit holder, that will be about $16,250 a year if we're looking at scale 1, somewhere thereabouts. So the difference here is there is a reduced fee for this investment type. Now you may ask, why would they take a reduced fee and take less time to process the application? There are some limitations to this commercial enterprise and the visas that are issued under this bill. So we'll talk more about that. Okay, so under the commercial enterprise, your visa will be issued for up to 3 years, and it can only be renewed once, which tells you if you're issued it for 3 years and it's renewable for another 3 years, you can only have a BH-1B visa for a maximum of 6 years. Whereas with a work permit, you can, if you can prove the need to have the person for that long, you can go up to 10, 11, 12 years under a regular work permit and a regular company that is not a specified commercial enterprise. Now, what that does is it gives the person holding that work permit for the regular company a pathway to permanent residence and then maybe later on citizenship. With the specified commercial enterprise, that can't happen. Your maximum, you top off at the 6-year limit. So that is one of the drawbacks. Now, one may ask, can I own a specified commercial enterprise and get permanent residence? That's the catch-22. You can. However, your investment amount in your specified commercial enterprise must be 1 million or more. Then the owner of that enterprise can qualify for permanent residence by virtue of his investment. However, if he is operating as a commercial enterprise, then all visas or work permits issued under the commercial enterprise bill will then be subject to the rules and regulations, which means you cannot and you will not have a pathway to permanent residence or citizenship if you come in under this bill. Something that should have been said from the onset: persons wishing to establish a commercial enterprise can come in for up to 30 days while they do all of the groundwork to ensure that the business and the licenses are being issued before having to present themselves to immigration to apply for any status. Whereas with a regular work permit, all first-time applicants must remain outside of the country until a decision has been made on that application. So that will be the only exception to the remaining outside the country rule when it comes to applying for a first-time application for a work permit with the Department of Immigration. So does the commercial enterprise sound like something you would be interested in for a minimum investment threshold, just to see if the Bahamas is where you would want to be and to see all that it has to offer? Then if this is you, then you can reach out to us via our website, our email address, phone contact, or on our social media platforms, all listed below this video. Thank you.